Today's Wednesday, it's the 12th of February, it's 2025, and we're back down in Palmanova. I think Anita's got her days mixed up. It's knitting day today, but she's managed to get an appointment to have her hair and nails done, so that gives me the opportunity to have a walk around, and hopefully the rain will stay off. But weather forecast isn't looking so good for this morning. However, one good thing is it's not windy. There's the flags up there are drooping, as it were. So if you're coming on holiday, you might want to get a little deck chair, and you can give it in at the charity shop at the end of your holiday. If you're here for a couple of weeks, it might actually save you a lot of money on the beach. So yeah, Anita's got her hair and nails, so I think I've probably got, how long? An hour? 2 hours?
Say it again.
How long have I got? 2 hours? A couple of hours, my goodness. Well, there should be some things to see, because some hotels are actually open now. I think the first of them opened yesterday, or maybe today. So we should start to see a few tourists arrive.
So we are a bit early, so we're going to...
We are a little bit early, so we're going to go and have a coffee. Well, we're a little bit early for Anita's appointment, so we stopped off at Cantoni, and we've got a cafe con leche. Cheers, everyone. Nice and hot. Well, on Eduardo's recommendation, I'm also having the toast and tomatoes. It's absolutely delicious. Great way to start the day. One of my favourite breakfasts. Well, I really enjoyed the coffee and the toast there at Cantoni. Anita's gone off to get her hair done, nails done. The weather's not looking too bad at the moment. Just heading down to the front. When we drove down here just the other day, we saw there was a big pile of what looked like new tiles to go down on the floor and see. What's going on here? Must be having some work done. So the weather forecast actually says a bit later on we're going to get some rain, so just keeping my eyes on the clouds. Make sure I've got somewhere to dash into if it does rain. They're very high at the moment, and the sun has been breaking through. Temperatures feeling quite mild. Supposed to be getting up to about 18 degrees today. So it should be all right. We were out in Santa Ponsa yesterday, and it was really very warm, or felt very warm. The sun was shining, and just walking, it did feel as though we're getting that little bit of a change now. Just a little bit of an update there. The tree, another tree's gone. Massive amount of work going on there. This is Mai Tai, and they are opening on the 21st of February, so just over a week, and they'll be open. This is where they've been doing the pavement on this side, and it looks as though they're making very good progress with that. That's looking really nice. I think a week or two of that will be all sorted. What I noticed when I drove down was this big pile of... We'll find out what they are when we get there, won't we? What are they? Oh yes, so the rectangular blocks that they're actually doing the paving. Quite nice. But there's a lot of them there, so there's a lot on the other side where they're actually doing the work there, so it's not for that side. So they must be planning something perhaps around here, taking all of this up. It just seems the wrong time when people are arriving with their suitcases, coming on holiday. Having said that, there's virtually nobody on the beach. We went to the Oceana for a coffee there, made very welcome. That's one of the few places along that section there that is open. The hotel is open, that's the Fergus style Palmanova, a 4-star hotel, and they were open all through the winter. But any of the clients now, they've got all of this to contend with, try and get over the building work. It might be finished in another 2 weeks, but for those people who are actually here on holiday, it's not very nice, a little bit noisy, a little bit disturbing. Still no sign of the Azul Beach Club opening. And most places in this section are closed, from La Cantina, the Tabacos is open, and Saffron has been open. And then at the very end, Il Chiringo is open. They actually stopped work doing the pavement just before El Chiringo outside Le Petit Bistro, but now you can see they're actually doing that section as well. So El Chiringo has got the old pavement up around it, and to get in there you've got to go across the boards. Not ideal. La Colmena, the beehive, it's got all the wooden boards up. They've been doing their work behind the scenes, as it were, and hopefully we'll be able to see what's going on in the next few weeks when the work's completed, and we'll go there for our morning coffee. It might be a little bit more expensive, but you sit on there and you've got this view out in front of you. Makes it a little bit worthwhile. And there's something a little bit different. Just going to cross over. This is Contra Corrente. The lads had a lunch here last week, which seemed to be very successful. I didn't go. I'll be a bit careful this month. I put on a little bit of weight last time I went to see the nurse, and I'm trying to be careful. I've got certain commitments that I've got to do, so we'll see how this progresses. Look, there's the work in front of El Chiringo. I'm just walking up now towards Fantasia Golf, and the big sign on there says closed until March, so again another place which could well be open in another 2 or 3 weeks. And this is a really fun place to go, and they open till quite late in the evening. When they are open, you can come and you can do 18 holes, or I think 72 holes. A lot of holes anyway. But it's good, it's well kept, nice and clean, and We have lots of fun there. So we sometimes take the grandchildren and have a game of mini golf in the pleasant surroundings. So I don't often walk this way. Get to the top. If I go right, I'll come back to where I started, where Anita's having her hair and nails done. We're actually going to go to the left because this will take me past one of the hotels that says supposedly open now. So Anita's having her hair and nails done down there, and I'm going to walk around here. I'm walking around effectively the Fantasia Golf. This is a bit more residential around here. I've walked in the opposite direction on a few videos. It's coming down here towards the beach, but this might be the first time I've ever walked in this direction. It's good to have firsts. This is a one-way street, so the cars, if they are coming, should be coming towards me. And here we are at the Palmanova, Globales Palmanova. You can see beds roll out. There's nobody actually using them. Cleaners are out. The pool's full, the pool's clean, the water's been squirted around. Oh, it's beginning to look a lot like the season started. Well, at least here at the Globales Palmanova, one of the first of the hotels to be opening in 2025. You just carry on walking up. There's actually two Globales Palmanova hotels. One's called the Globales Palmanova and the other one Palmanova Palace, and they are virtually next door to each other. Just see the top of the Palmanova Palace. That one isn't open. I don't think that's going to be open for a few weeks yet. Can't see any clients. Maybe the clients have not quite arrived yet. And I don't know, I do get this feeling of guilt, you know, when clients are arriving and the weather's not very good. Well, hopefully, if they're arriving around lunchtime, it's actually going to change by then, and should get a little bit of sunshine. And I guess if they've come from the UK, it's going to be considerably warmer than there. This is at the back of Palmanova. This is the motorway just in the distance there, the cars shooting by. And then this is the road that goes just at the back. This is the Globales Palmanova. I can see steam coming out. So at this time of the year, they've got to have central heating on. Not the air conditioning, it's the central heating. People will want nice warm rooms. And delivery van here. Evidence that things are starting. outside the hotel they've got these benches you can sit on. And there's the hotel itself. Well, if you're coming to the Hotel Palmanova in the next few days or weeks, then and you spot us in the street, then do stop and say hello. We'd just like to find out about your experience, about what the flights were like, what the check-in was like, and did the hotel live up to your expectations. Well, I'm just going to carry on my walk, and actually pretty much going to walk back towards where I came from. What I want to do is cross the road. I'm not sure whether there is a crossing here, or whether I've got to walk up a little bit more. I know there is a crossing, I can see. And then I'll walk up towards the what used to be the Hotel 33 and is now the Mimosa, because that's also opening up fairly soon. In the video I did of Santa Ponsa, I talked extensively about the entry and exit system and the ETIAS, this visa waiver that's coming into force. But I did it towards the end of the video, and I'm not sure everybody gets that far. So I'm actually going to repeat some of that information, because I caught another article today which was an update, or it said it was an update, on the ETIAS and EES entry-exit system. So let's just get onto the walkway and I'll see if I can explain it. So here we go. This is a nice walkway which sort of goes by the side of the road, but keeps us well separate, and I hope it's not going to be too noisy. In fact, I'm going to change the microphone so that maybe the sound is a little bit better. Okay, I've now changed microphones, so hopefully we'll notice a little bit of difference in the sound quality, and maybe not pick up so much of the road sound as I wander around. So the EES is the first that's going to be introduced. It's an electronic entry-exit system, and it's for anyone who's coming from outside the Schengen area. When you come into the Schengen area and you don't have an EU passport, then you will have your passport scanned, your photograph taken, and your fingerprints taken. If you come through again and on another holiday later on, then they will probably only do your photo. They might not do your fingerprints, or they might just do your fingerprints and not your photo. They might do just both. That remains to be seen. And you'll get logged. You get logged on a computer, and also you've entered the Schengen area. And if you are a non-EU citizen, then you've only got 90 days in any 180-day period. And so this is the way of keeping track with that. So previously all of that was done with stamping of passports. They were scanning them, but the stamp on the passport showed the date, and you could look at the passport and say, ah yes, you've only got so many days left in this particular 180-day period before you have to leave. Well, that's all going to be stopped. You won't be having stamps in your passport as you come into the Schengen area, at least not until it's actually in place. But then at some point later on, ETIAS will come in. And ETIAS is a visa waiver for those people with passports that don't actually need a visa to visit the European Union. And that's an awful lot of countries, and for British people and Americans, for example, They don't need visas, but they will need the visa waiver when it comes in. The really big question that nobody is answering is when all of this is supposed to happen. And it's been on the cards for the past few years now, and it just seems to have had one delay after another. In fact, this year they said it's definitely coming in, and it didn't. The time passed, and no new date was put forward. The thing that changed the last couple of days is there are reports that someone from the port of Dover, an official at the port of Dover, has actually almost quantified it by saying November for the entry-exit system. And that's the electronic system. And I think that the port of Dover is going to be the big problem, because you're going to get lots of people turning up in cars, in buses, in large groups, and they will all have to have their photograph taken, their fingerprints taken, the passport scanned. And they didn't have all of the technology in place. Well, this official seems to be suggesting that by November it will be in place and hopefully tested, and they will be able to get people through. But it does feel as though it could cause some delays, at least initially, when people are getting used to the system. My thought is, where you've got a coach load of 50 odd people, they've all got to have their photograph taken, the fingerprints taken. That really isn't going to happen in a coach situation. You're going to have to get off the coach and then get your fingerprints done and your photograph done. And then, you know, you're going to have some people who, while they're off the coach, they want to go to the toilet. Well, it's what's going to happen, and that's where I see the delays. Excuse me. As far as Palma is concerned, I don't think we'll have anything like that sort of problem, because everyone comes through individually, everyone has their passport taken and photographed, and it's all done very quickly. Now, whether all of this can be done in a technological way that we don't know about yet, maybe that's the case, and it will get speeded up. But at the moment, it's really a one by one. And in Palma, we've got lots and lots of machines for scanning. They've already been in use for some time now. And as we've been through the airport on the last couple of occasions, we've seen lots more of these machines actually still wrapped in their polythene. So they're ready to be installed. We are actually going to have a flight end of this month, beginning of next month, I think. And so we'll be able to see what changes have been made there. So that's one thing. And then once the the entry and exit system's up and running, then the EU has always said that ETIAS will come 6 months afterwards. Now, if that's the case, then the border patrols in Dover means 6 months after November. This means it's going to be the beginning of the 2026 season when it all comes into force. And the European Union have also said it will be in a staged process, so there might be a 6 month period when it'll be required but not absolutely necessary, not mandatory. So we'll see. It's still very much in the air, and it's something I quite keenly keep my eye on. And when I do hear anything, I'll just make another video on it. The other thing that I'm very curious about is at the beginning of December, Spain, and now this isn't the European Union, this is just Spain, brought in a law which I've called, and many other people have referred to as the Big Brother law, where hotels and car rental companies have to take lots of information about you and send it off to the authorities. I guess that's the police. And they've always done that. They've always taken your name, your passport number, maybe some other little details. But now there's a whole lot of extra details, up to 40 different items of data that are going to be collected and sent and stored about you. And it doesn't matter how old you are, everyone is going to have this done. It's already started, and I did get a message from somebody who'd been on holiday to Canary Islands and said that they just wrote it down on a piece of paper, handed it in at the desk, and that was it. The article in the paper this morning said that a hotel, not here in Mallorca on the mainland, had set up an online registration. And in this online registration, then the user, the client, fills in all of the data. And what they asked for was a photo of their ID card, or passport, I guess, if you haven't got an ID card. And that got sent off to the hotel. The hotel could then process it and send it off to the authorities. The hotel are under an obligation to do this, and if they don't do it correctly, if they make mistakes, there are huge fines. So you would think that this was a good way of doing it. Get the client to do it, get a copy of their ID, everything's got to be hunky-dory. Well, one client didn't like this, that they had to give a photo of their ID card, and has made a claim, a denuncia. And the hotel is now being fined €1,500 because they'd asked for a photocopy of their ID card. And that really just seems all wrong to me. The government are asking for all of this data. The ID card is where that data is written down, and I thought hotels did that anyway. You, in the past, you've handed your passport over and collected it maybe a few hours later or a day later. Now, what do they do with it in that time? I don't know, but an easy thing to do is to photocopy it, scan it, and you've got the information. Well, apparently data protection says you can't do that. The hoteliers here in Majorca are not happy about the situation at all, and they're still protesting about having to collect this data and the fact that it has to be sent without errors. And you can see that that could cause issues, particularly when you get a coachload of people arriving at a hotel and they've all got to supply this data. And if you refuse, then the hotel should refuse you entry to the hotel. So it's that important. I'm not trying to scare anybody about coming here. I'm sure it's all going to be very straightforward. But anyway, we've booked a mini break here, and we're going to go to a hotel and we'll just see exactly what information they are requiring. And hopefully, as we're walking around, we'll get to chat to some people and see if any of this has actually affected them. Maybe it has, and maybe it hasn't. Who knows? So this is the Globales. It used to be called the Mimosa Park, and I think they dropped the park bit, so it's just called the Globales. And before that it was Hotel 33 when Anita and I first came to the island. Then the 33 indicating that it was an 1830 hotel. In fact, a friend of ours, Dale's actually set up a Facebook group just about the Hotel 33 and his memories working here as a rep in the good old days. Is that what we call them? Well, it's people outside working, getting it all set up. The flagpoles are going up, delivery drivers are arriving, and it looks as though they'll be opening very, very soon. Not open yet, but it's looking as though it will be open soon. Just a couple of weeks ago I was down here for the cycling. This is where the cycling started and finished, and the Mallorca Challenge, and this was the Palmanova bit of it. Just have a look down here. Yeah. Hope you can see the pool's ready, the tables are out, the parasols are out, and the sun's shining up there. So if you're in the Mimosa, you can come out of the front door, and then these steps here will actually take you down. But at the bottom there is a gate, and I think you can get out through that gate as well, so you don't have to negotiate these steps. A little poster there for O'Neill's, which is just around the corner. You might want to go to. Great fish and chips we've had there. Just walking in the direction now of Magaluf. I'm not going into Magaluf today, but walking in that direction. And this is a big supermarket. If you're staying in this area, Eroski, a reasonably priced supermarket. This is a big one, quite a big one. If you want things like water to take to your room, or a bottle of wine, or a few cans of beer or something, or whatever, they will have it there, and you won't be paying the rip-off prices of some of the shops. So this is one that locals use. On this side of the road you've got some really nice villas with some really nice price tags to them. Going across here. Don't think this is actually meant to be a zebra crossing, but I'm going to be using it as one. So there isn't actually one. Yeah, I can walk down here. Check to see if any cars are coming this way. No. Looks like the safe way to cross to me. And then in front of us, those cars are actually going to come down this way, so I need to cross over here. All very good. And this is Zafiro. There's two Zafiro hotels in Palmanova, and this one is the Zafiro Palace, and that one isn't open yet. In fact, I don't think the other one is open either. So this is referred to as the Palace Hotel Palmanova, and it's a 5-star hotel, and at the moment it's all just chained off and gated off, and it doesn't look as though they're going to be open for a while because the grass is still growing in between the little stones there. said that there are lights inside, so must be some people working in there. Chap over there with one of these blowers and a machine coming around to pick up the leaves and the yellow pollen. Now, I've mentioned the processionary caterpillars in a couple of videos, and we actually saw some yesterday in Santa Ponsa. The other thing that we get this year is the yellow pollen. It's the pollen from the pine trees, and I haven't mentioned it because I haven't noticed it. And sometimes at this time of the year, you get a gust of wind and the sky turns yellow. It's quite a phenomenon. And for a problem, if you're putting your clothes out to dry, as we do, we hang the clothes out to dry, and you get a gust of that. Clothes all get covered in pollen, and even if there isn't a gust of wind, they still get the pollen, and I think for me anyway, it gives me a little bit of an itch, and it's a bit annoying. So that's the Zafiro Palace Hotel, and that's the 5-star one. I think they are obviously getting ready to open. Walk down there and get down towards the front and the sea. I'm just going to carry on walking a little bit. I've still got around about an hour on Anita's list, and then I do want to get home because I'm expecting a delivery. This is an important delivery because our passports were due to expire a little bit later this year. We wanted a little window of opportunity to send them off. Sometimes you hear about delays and things, so we thought we'd do it now after we'd finished one little bit of travelling before we start any more. And well, we sent them off a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and I've had a message to say that mine is going to be delivered today, and Anita is going to be delivered tomorrow. So you can track them. They come with DHL, and we have to pay just over £100 for ours. We have to send them the passports back, fill in the forms online. We took the photographs ourselves, which was a bit tricky for Anita. Mine seemed to work fine first time, but Anita's I had to get the big camera out and take several photographs until I found one that they accepted. And anyway, it's pretty straightforward to do it all online. And they give you all the tracking details about where it is and what process it's going through. So they tell you when it's arrived, when it's been printed, and when it then gets sent off with the courier. And then from the courier side, which is DHL for us, they update you where it is, which station it's got to. Mine this morning was actually in Barcelona at around about 9 o'clock this morning. So it's got to get the next flight out, land in Palma, and then get sorted and then go out for delivery. So I'm expecting mine sometime this afternoon. I can't imagine it could happen any quicker than that. So we'll see. And Anita's, well, pretty much the same thing tomorrow, except we are going out tomorrow. So I'm not sure what's going to happen there. She might need to reschedule if she can when and where it's going to be delivered. That's the house we've seen on several videos being constructed. Nice, modern looking house, but a lot of concrete. Grey concrete. And then once we've got those passports, I'll feel a little bit more comfortable about booking flights. Actually, within Spain, we don't actually need passports to fly. We can just fly with our ID cards. So that's also a possibility. But our mini break is going to be here on the island. Just in front, we've got the Cas Sabonaires, and I was looking through some of my older videos a couple of days ago. I remembered that we were talking about the Cas Sabonaires and the potential for there to be noise from the building work that's just behind. Well, you can see the cranes are still there and the building work is still proceeding. But on that particular occasion, when they were still doing a lot of the groundwork, it was still not in any way bothering at all. And we spoke to several people who'd been staying at the Cas Sabonaires. They said they had a great time, didn't even notice it. You get more noises from hearing the children having a good time around the pool, music, and this road's a bit noisy, but even that you don't hear particularly. So at the back here, this is where you've got the entrances to the apartments, but that's the back of the hotel. The front is looking out into the hotel grounds. So my feeling again is this year, just enjoy your holiday. It's not really going to affect you at all. Last time I came, the man was painting these steel railings. He was right up there, and he's still doing them. It's like the Forth Bridge, isn't it? Someone was asking me about these buildings here. This is Justice of the Peace, and just beyond that there's a theatre. This used to be the medical centre as well. It used to come here to have various tests and things. If you wanted a blood test, you would come here. And then there are some offices about employment and education, which years ago I actually went on a course with them. I was thinking of setting up a business. I went on a course organised by them. It's completely free, completely in Spanish. It was quite hard work, but I got by. I can cross now. I was just going to walk around the Cas Sabonaires, so around this way. And the road down there, it used to be a Guardia Civil barracks. Guardia Civil like being almost like military sort of police. But they had a car blown up just down that street. There's a plaque to commemorate that. And some Guardia Civil officers lost their lives. So they didn't stay there for very long. It wasn't really a suitable place, I don't think anyway. And they moved to the other side of Palmanova into a building that used to be, or was intended to be, a bus station. Only the council built it and forgot to tell the bus company. The bus company said, we don't want a bus station. So it never actually got used as a bus station. But if you actually go to it, you can see that it's designed as a bus station. It's now council offices. But the Guardia Civil were there for a while. They left there, and they've got a barracks or offices on the Poligono in Santa Ponza. This is just the back of Baleares, and there's a piece of fairly rough ground here before we get to the area where the construction is. I don't think I should be walking down there. I'm not sure whether that is actually open to the public or not, but I'm not going to risk it. I'll carry on down here. I can see a little bit more of the work that's gone on, and actually just how much has been completed. And if you listen carefully, there is a little bit of building noise, but it's really very little. Well, apologies if the video went a little bit wonky then, but I just had a message from the DHL to say that my passport's actually arrived in Palma de Mallorca, so I'll be at the airport, and that was at 10:35, so I think it will then have to get sorted, put on a van and come to us, and I'm still I'm nearly in Magaluf. So getting back to the building here, still building over that side. This is actually completed and people are living here now, so this is already finished. And this is residential, this is not holiday accommodation. More building work going on this side. We're just now on the outskirts of Magaluf. That's Magaluf over that way. That's the sports centre, and that's the road that leads down into Magaluf. Sure whether you can get out down there. Doesn't look like it. One of the issues here in Mallorca is affordable housing, and well, these are 1, 2, 3 bedrooms, and there's 39 places being built there. So the problem I see with Magaluf is there's just not enough people living here to sustain it during the winter months. And the more people and apartments we can have here, the more sustainable it will be. They've got a big supermarket. This is Aldi, and that's open all the year round. They've got a great sports complex over there, and there is some accommodation, but not a great deal. So I need to get through. I'm just going to walk around the Aldi. Probably not the prettiest of walks, going through somebody's car park. You can see the building work here and how the construction is done. It's all done with steel and concrete, these buildings. Lots of steel, lots of concrete. Very few bricks. The bricks are used to fill in between, and don't really have a structural purpose. It's just to fill the gaps, really. And these are, on this side, they're already finished. And they are overlooking the car park, and that's Teddy down there, and the Kathmandu Hotel. This is Jusk. This is a furniture shop. We've actually had some furniture from there. It's a little bit like an upmarket IKEA, or IKEA as they say in the UK. A bit more like oak furniture, I think, is Probably more similar thing in the UK. There's Teddy. Menu del dia here is €15. Choice of things. This is the car park, which if I'm going to Magaluf, I quite often try to park in that car park. And just behind there we've got a little sports area with things like paddle, five-side football. It's the Rosa del Mar, part of the Senses group. And this all used to be rough ground, and this is where the Scouts used to have their bonfire November the 5th or thereabouts. And we used to gather here. We used to get permission from the town hall to do it, and we had a bonfire, we had fireworks, we had a great time. And in those days there were more tourists around. It used to be very well patronised, and the Scouts used to make enough money to pay for most of their things for the year. Across the road where we've got Bank of Mark, that used to be Rooster's famous fish and chip shop and restaurant, also good for Sunday lunches. Now it's a bank, but it's Bank of Mark, and it's got a certain local feel to it. I always get the feeling it's quite well respected. People have different opinions about banks. There's a Magaluf's shop. So over the weekend we went to the Chinese New Year celebrations, and someone said didn't think there was such a large community. Well, it's places like that that are run by Chinese families, and there are lots of them. So many so, they've approached the town hall in Palma in order to find a piece of land to build a Buddhist temple. And yeah, I've received comments to say that that doesn't sound right here in Mallorca. Well, maybe not, I don't know. But there are a lot of Chinese and non-Chinese Buddhists, of course. Is there a Buddhist temple here now? I don't know. Not something I've ever looked for or seen. There's Pappy's. That'll make Jim happy. And then that would take me up, if I carried on up there, that would go up to the Magaluf strip. But I'm going to start heading back. I've got about 35 minutes before Anita's scheduled completion. We'll see. Pappy's closed, of course. They'll be opening up later on. Just looking up there. That takes you up to the Casa Bonaires, but before you get there, you've got the Rosa del Mar and the Zafiro up there. I'm going to get back to the sea, I think. And this is Eduardo territory. And thanks very much for the tip on the toast and coffee this morning. Really enjoyed that. So toast with tomato on, it's absolutely delicious. This really is a good way to start the day, and I've now had a good walk, so hopefully walk some of that off. And good coffee too. Just heading down to the sea. This is the San Matias beach, and this is the apartments of San Matias. They're private residential properties, and Naz, haven't heard from Naz for a long time. Hope everything's well with you and your family. Contacted me to say how's things over there during the lockdown time, and then we've met Naz and her family on a couple of occasions. They come all the way from the United States. So here we are on the beach. Workmen doing some work. Really beautiful out there. Fairly calm as well, and there are little bits of blue sky. And when I looked at the weather forecast, it said by midday it would be raining. Well, hopefully that's not true, because it's coming up to 11:30 now. Children's park there. This is CISOs here, all wrapped up in plastic, which is what happens. And then next to that we've got a van, and it looks like they're doing their tree trimming, which they do regularly, get all the trees looking good. And then that's the San Matias Beach Hotel, which is where Shauna and Claire stayed last year. Shauna was missing all of the water activities, so this year they're going to the Santa Lucia, which is in front. Sounds as though they're doing a little bit of work on the San Matias, but the Santa Lucia in front, Globales Santa Lucia, they're very much getting ready to open. I think they'll be opening fairly soon. The sunbeds are out. Still a skip in the car park, but and there's actually a skip being loaded just around there, getting ready. So I think that will all be happening soon. This barbecue restaurant is undergoing a bit of a transformation, so expect to see that looking a lot different if you're arriving later on this summer. Earlier on in the year we've seen some signs of building materials here at the Santa Lucia. That all seems to have gone. The skip's ready to go. It's absolutely piled high, and they're giving the place a good clean over now, getting it ready for the clients. Still some builder's rubble that's got to go, but not very much there, and that looks as though it can be moved very, very quickly. The pool is full of water. The beds are out. There's some ripples on the sea. There's a gentleman cleaning the glass, and it's a never-ending job actually, particularly at this time of the year with the yellow pollen that's flying around. So good luck to him. The sun's coming out now. I was just going to say the padlocks have gone, but two have appeared. But they won't stay because the authorities will come and saw them off. One thing that's fairly new is they're getting some people who are putting plaques here. They're affixing plaques to these places. Which have got wonderful memories. Lots of people write to me to say that they don't come anymore, or they used to come with their partner. And well, hopefully this just brings back some happy memories.
Hello.
Hello.
We know you from the
From YouTube.
Sorry for interrupting.
Not a problem at all.
I want to thank you for the updating us.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
It's a very,
Thank you.
very nice.
You here on holiday?
Yes.
All right. Well, very nice. Where are you staying?
We are staying in Palma in Son Oliva.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Barilo in Spanish. Yeah. We have a flat there.
And where are you from?
Romania.
Romania. Wow,
Yes.
fantastic. Well, welcome to Mallorca, and
Thank you.
hope you have a wonderful holiday.
Yes, thank you. But we have the flat, so we are coming 2 or 3 months each time. We are.
Oh, fantastic.
It's very nice.
It
We
is.
love
Yeah. Okay.
So
Enjoy your holiday.
thank you. All
My
the
pleasure.
best.
Bye bye.
Bye. This is your wife also.
Thank you. She's having her hair done. She's having her hair done in the hairdressers. Well, I think that's maybe the first family I've met from Romania. I know that there are a lot of Romanian families here living on the island, but that's the first time I've actually stopped and spoken to any. So very nice, and well, nice to see that our videos are being watched in Romania. Back to the Santa Lucia, looking all good now, and very clean. It must be getting ready. I think one thing we might be noticing, and we've started to notice really, is the mix of nationalities that are coming to Mallorca. So I did give out the figures for last year, 2024, and they did show a slight decrease, not a big decrease, of UK tourists. German tourists actually broke all records and overtook the British by some considerable margin, but countries like France America, all seeing quite large increases. So don't expect to hear only British voices when you're wandering around places like Palmanova. Hello.
About your wife.
Your wife.
You've just met her?
Yeah.
Where?
She's having her hair and nails
Oh,
done.
right. Of
Come
course
on,
she
you're
is.
telling everybody that she's having her hair and nails done.
I've just told her to say.
So I said, she said, oh, you might see Steve walking about. So I said, well, if I do, I'll say hi to her. And the reason I went to have book appointment is because I'd messaged her and said about.
She told me that, yeah.
Yeah. So I've been in and made my appointment, you see.
She's made a mistake on the day because today's knitting day. She's supposed to be knitting now. You are being recorded, by the way. Is that okay?
No, it's fine. I don't mind. But all right.
So knitting. She's supposed to be knitting this morning. So she made the appointment, and
Yeah.
she doesn't normally come on a Wednesday.
Never mind. It was lovely to see her. I went to the shop and I'm going, oh, it's Anita. And I was really surprised.
Yeah.
But I said it's lovely to see you. So thank you for your message.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Good. Where are you staying?
We're staying in San Augustine.
Oh, right. Well, that's our stomping ground. We live just above that.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're there for 8 weeks.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, the weather, it's a bit iffy today, but it'll get
Well,
better.
Nice yesterday.
I was just saying to Anita, and the girls in the salon, I'm going, oh, it's really warm. And she's going, and I said, you think it's cold, don't you? And she said, yeah.
Yes.
But
The freezing at home.
different
5
climates,
degrees.
isn't it?
Oh, where's home?
Home, we live at Lytham St Anne's.
Oh, right, yeah.
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 So we do that.
Freezing.
Enjoy it.
We will.
Yeah.
We will.
Lovely,
And
yeah.
if you're here for that long, we're bound to
Oh, no,
bump
See
into
you
you
again.
again.
Yeah,
See you
nice.
then. Thank you. Bye-bye. Oh, that's nice and reassuring that Anita's actually still in the hairdressers. She's still got another 25 minutes on my watch at least. She never actually keeps the time. So yeah, they've come in for 8 weeks, and from the UK you can do that. 8 weeks. The limit is 90 days, so you can't go over that 90 days in a 180-day period. And the calculation for the 180 days starts today and looks backwards. So they'll check you on the day and look back to see how many days you've been in Europe, not in Spain, but in Europe, or the Schengen area, in the last 180 days, 6 months effectively. And that cannot exceed 90 days, otherwise you break the rule. There have been some questions about what happens if you do break the rule. And some people have said, I've been here for a year or 2 years or not. And well, I don't know. Eventually you're going to have to cross a border if you're going to leave the country. And someone was on about going on holiday to Thailand, and would they have an issue coming back? Well, could well have a big issue coming back. I don't know. I've not really seen firsthand anyone who's overstayed and had any consequences. But that doesn't mean it's not happened, and I have read third-hand stories of people saying, but my friend's friend. So I don't know. Anyway, when the entry-exit system comes in, I imagine that will happen instantly at the border. You put your passport into the scanner, it's immediately going to come up with the data of when you have been here, and computers can do those calculations so incredibly quickly. It can tell you exactly how many days you've spent. One thing I haven't actually seen mentioned recently is the facility for people to actually search online using your passport details to find out how many days you've spent, because it's hard to calculate. If you have a few days here and a few days there, and was it within those 90 days, keeping track of it is a bit of an issue. And I do know some friends have got apps that do that for them, but the EES, the entry-exit system, is supposed to have a facility that you can check, but I've not seen that spoken about recently, so maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. It doesn't actually exist yet, so At the moment it definitely doesn't.
Por eso va el primero.
So we've got across the road, we've got Casa Chiringo. That used to be our friend Peter's, well, his friend, he was a former pupil. Peter, that used to be his restaurant. He's sort of taking a sort of retirement now. That must make me feel old, don't you think, when your pupils are retiring? That's Il Chiringo on the beach there, and then next to the beehive is the other Il Chiringo. Well, I wasn't keeping an eye on my battery and it just ran out, so I must have lost a little bit of the end of that one. And anyway, I just had another message from DHL to say that my package is going to arrive tomorrow. So it's on the island, but they're not going to deliver it tomorrow, and Anita's is due tomorrow as well, so both of them tomorrow. We might have to reorganise ourselves. Due to go and pick the children up, or the girls from school, which is we'll see how that goes. I think the temperature then said 15 degrees on the pharmacy. It certainly felt a bit warmer than that. Hello.
How you doing? All right.
All good, thanks. Yeah, 15 degrees. Well, it already seems as though we might be seeing some people here who are actually on holiday. So is today the first of the holiday season? If it is, it's very early. And I hope they have a great time. The volleyball players are out. They must be getting warm. We've got some guy there without his shirt on. Just looking over to the Tropico. Looking really good. And, we should have now settled down and have everything right. And I'm looking forward to a bumpy year. Buenos días. The McDonald's here has been having some work done, but looks like that's all finished and they're open. I see someone sitting out on their terrace. It's the steps over there I usually walk around, but not today. I was on a big circular tour today. Looking for people to come and work here. That's going to be an issue for Easter. As Easter comes, a lot of the bar owners are saying that you're going to have real difficulty finding personnel to be waiters and waitresses, work in the kitchens and that sort of thing. So I do see that as being something of an issue here this year again. Certainly not getting any better. And on the other side, I've seen people writing on various Facebook groups saying, I want to come out for the summer, how's the easiest place to get a job? And these are youngsters from the UK who want to come out for a few months and get a job here to pay for that. And get a bit of the life here in Mallorca. And the simple answer to them, if they've got a UK passport, you can't do that anymore. You can't come to Mallorca for 2 or 3 months and work in a bar or a hotel or any of those sorts of jobs that youngsters used to do. Legally they cannot do them anymore. And if they do manage to find something and get caught, there are huge fines for them and for the people who are employing them. So the employers on this side not really interested. Even if it's a skilled job that you're doing, it's really hard to come to Mallorca to work, and this is all because of Brexit. Brexit's made it virtually impossible for youngsters to come to Mallorca. Hello! Made it virtually impossible for youngsters to come and spend the summer and work. I mean, they can come and spend the summer so long as they don't extend the 90 days. They can't actually work to help pay for that. And it's unlikely that they could afford anywhere to stay. It's just too expensive. And you might all say, oh well, we'll go somewhere else. You can go somewhere else, but you're going to have to go further afield than Europe or European Union. They want you on the road, not on the pavement.
I'm supposed to be on the road, sorry.
Ah, beautiful sunshine again now. And this is more or less the time when it's supposed to be raining. I can see clouds, and in the distance there may be some rain, but there's certainly no rain in here in Palmanova. And I think one of these park benches might be for me in a moment, and I can sit and wait for Anita to finish having her hair and nails done. Well, the girls are clearly a little bit nervous about being on the road. One girl's actually using a phone while on the bicycle. Not so clever. And there's the saffron, and it's got a big open sign on there, so saffron's open. I'm pretty sure the tobaccos is. So we're actually going to do some work here on the patio. It's actually sticking a probe in there and a sensor, testing for something. Moisture maybe, I don't know. Well, I'm going to have a little sit down on the bench. Well, Anita's found me, and she's had her hair done, beautiful, and her nails done, nice colour. Quite like
Elegant
that sort of.
cherry.
Oh, I was going to call it burgundy, but elegant cherry sounds much nicer. Anyway, we're going to carry on now. We're going to go shopping, and it looks as though our passports might arrive together tomorrow. Shall we go?
Hello.
Hello there.
Hello.
How are the dogs doing? Oh,
Is this a new video?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I watch them all the time.
Well, from Norway, and we spoke to him a couple of years ago, and he's now moved to live here. And he said it was -10 in Norway today. A little bit different here, where it's probably getting up towards the 18 degrees it's supposed to be getting to. There's Julie.
Pardon?
Julia over there walking the dog in a pushchair. Well, I think next time we come out, I'm going to have to remove a layer. I'm just feeling too warm. Maybe a short sleeve shirt might help.
Don't start too soon casting your clothes off.
No. We have a saying in I think it was in Stoke-on-Trent really, which says, "Cast ne'er a clout till May is out." There's always been a bit of a discussion of what a clout is, and I don't know, I've always assumed it's something like a vest. I don't know, it does seem a little bit busier to me. Whereas Ivan, taking the dog for a walk. Just by coincidence, just in a DHL van. Anyway. Hopefully we'll get them both tomorrow, and then we can start seriously thinking about what we're doing this year, and see if we've got any arrangements. 19 degrees on the pharmacy thermometer up there. This is where we had the coffee earlier.
Still very busy.
One of the newspapers there was the China Daily. Interesting. Well, we're going to make our way to the car now. We've had a lovely walk, or I've had a lovely walk, and Anita's got lovely hair and nails. So thanks very much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.